Hey guys, welcome to my new YouTube channel, What's Cooking Tonight? My name is Ryan, and today we are going to be doing a pork butt roast on my smoker. So I got this nice, let's see if I can get it in front of the camera here, nice 3.5 pound pork butt roast. We're going to season this up in a second, and then we'll be putting it on my Fornetto Basso smoker. So give me a minute here, we'll get this cut up and we'll put some seasoning on it. Alright guys, we're back. We got the pork butt on the butcher paper there. Today we are going to use a barbecue seasoning by Two Gringos called Two Gringos Chupacabra. And these are normally for ribs. You can see rib noxious on there. But this is pork, just like the ribs we usually cook. So I think this is going to be great on the pork butt here. Let's go ahead and season it up. Going to get a pretty good amount on there. A good coating, and we'll get front, back, and we'll get the sides too in a second here. That looks good. Alright, so we're going to let this sit for a minute here. We'll get the smoker going, and then we'll bring the camera outside and we'll show you the smoker and get it on there. Alright guys, we're back. So we are going to get the charcoal going. We have some charcoal in the chimney starter back here. We got some in the smoker. I'm going to point you down to that right now so we can check that out. Alright, so there's the bottom of our smoker. Like I said, this is the Fornetto Basso. It's the 18-inch model. So it's a lot like the Weber Smoky Mountain, but this actually was a little bit cheaper, and it's got some features that are a little bit better than the Smoky Mountain, in my opinion, and we'll show you that in a little bit here. But the charcoal that we have here, this is Kingsford charcoal, the Kingsford original, and we've got this stacked up for the Minion Method, which, as you can see, is where you have a little bit of a hole in the middle there, and then you have a perimeter of charcoal around the outside. So what we'll do is, if I zoom you out here, we got our charcoal chimney, and we've got that almost full of charcoal, about 3/4 full of charcoal. And then if you look over here, we've got our wax paraffin fire starters. So we're going to go ahead and get that going with the grill lighter, and then once we light those wax starters, should be ready in about 20 minutes or so. Coal should be nice and hot then. So let's go ahead and get those going. Gonna be hard for you to see in the sunlight, but we got both cubes lit. I'm just gonna take this, set it right over top. That'll get us a nice fire going for these coals. So after these are fired up, I'll show you the smoker all assembled and some of the features of the Fornetto, and we'll get that pork butt on there. Alright guys, we're back. The charcoal chimney is just about ready with our charcoal, but I wanted to do a quick shot here of the wood we're going to be using to smoke the pork today. We're going to do mostly apple, as you can see there on the right. We've got 3 decent sized pieces, and then on the right we got hickory. So we'll be doing a mix of apple and hickory, and we're going to go put that on the coals that we set up before we pour the hot ones in. So we'll do that in a second here. Alright guys, we're ready to put our wood on. I'm going to grab our apple and our hickory, like we mentioned before. So the idea here is you want to get these pieces of wood lined up in a way so that some are going to be by the center of the fire, and then some will be by the back edge. And that way, you know, they'll catch fire at different times during your cook, and you'll get that good smoke throughout the whole cook. We got some apple here by one of these air dampeners. We've got another piece back here. We'll do a hickory, you know, here in the front so it'll catch, and then we'll do a hickory towards the back and an apple towards the back so that it catches later in the burn cycle here. So I think that's looking pretty good. Our charcoal chimney is just about ready, and we'll pour those hot charcoals in here and get this thing cooking. Alright, here's our charcoal chimney. It's been maybe about 20 minutes or so. So the way you know it's ready is you shouldn't really see any more smoke burning off of it. You should see a good flame. You should see some good glowing embers in there. So if I kind of tilt this for you, you can see that's looking pretty orange, pretty warm. Shake it around a little, get that all burning good, and we're going to go ahead and take it and dump it into the center of our charcoal that's set up for the Minion Method. So let's go ahead and turn this camera back over. Let's go ahead and dump this in there. Alright, so we'll get that going right in the middle there. You can already tell our wood's starting to smoke a little bit, and then it'll catch the rest of the charcoal as it needs to. We'll go ahead and assemble this, and you'll get to see some of the pieces of the Fornetto Basso. Alright, so let's go ahead and assemble this. One of the things that's nice about the Fornetto is it comes apart in like 2 or 3 different pieces, which gives you a little more options, you know, on what you want to cook and how easy you can add things while you're cooking. So the first part here is going to be the water pan and the bottom grill grate, and I've got this water pan filled up about 3/4, almost all the way full. So this kind of just snaps together. Get that one on there. Snap this edge down. All the vents are completely open. You want them open to get the fire going real hot. Here's the top half. You can see here I got a temperature probe coming out so that I can get a more exact temp on how hot the smoker is. And then we'll get the lid. So back you out here for the lid. Alright. Get this one snapped down. Alright, and that's the Fornetto Basso. So it's pretty nice. I like how it's modular. I like how it's got the 2 open, you know, grates there in the front, or doors. Helps you if you have to add charcoal or just, you know, take a peek at something. And then you got, of course, your dome thermometer there. Dome thermometer works pretty good unless you have like a lot of food in the top, and then I noticed that it registers cooler than it really is. That's why I put the digital thermometer in there. I can kind of get 2 different temps, and that gives me a better baseline of what's going on. So yeah, we're gonna wait for this thermometer. Let me zoom in a little bit there. Not getting good focus there, but we're gonna wait for that to get to 250 or 225, somewhere between there, and then we'll get that pork on there. Alright guys, we're getting close to temp here, and I wanted to do like a quick little review of this Fornetto Basso, because I've looked at a lot of videos on YouTube, and I actually haven't seen a lot of videos that talk about this smoker. So I got this smoker. It's an 18-inch Fornetto Basso from Lowe's, and it was $180. So I thought this was a great deal. I was looking at the Weber Smoky Mountain that was a similar size, and I think they even have a smaller Weber Smoker Mountain. And I mean, those are kind of expensive. They're like $300 or more, like the cheapest one. And for someone like myself who's just getting into smoking, that just seemed like too much, you know, to try something new out. But the Fornetto's been great. The only 2 big gripes I have about it is, and I didn't point this out earlier, the charcoal basket, in my opinion, is kind of small. So I've had a few cooks where I've run out of charcoal, where I was doing like a long cook, you know, like beef brisket or, you know, something like that. And I've had to add more hot charcoal to the smoker in the bottom, you know, using that bottom door there. And it works, but it's not ideal. I've tried different charcoals. I tried B&B charcoal. B&B seemed to be the best, actually, better than Kingsford even. So we're going to see. I might try and look online for a deeper charcoal basket. It doesn't seem like Fornetto sells any type of accessories. I mean, I've seen some on their website, but very hard to find something specific for this smoker. So I'm probably going to try and, you know, just buy a charcoal basket that's meant for a different drum smoker and just try and, you know, measure it out and make sure it fits and just take a risk and buy it. So the other thing that was like a little bit of a learning curve with this, and this is probably with any smoker, is the water basket. So when I was first using the water, I thought it was more so to, you know, give your smoke some humidity, give your smoke some more wetness to it so that your meat doesn't dry out. And that might help to a degree, but in my experience, the water bowl is used to help control the heat of the charcoal. So if you're trying to reach a high temperature, you probably don't want to use the water bowl, or you probably don't want to fill it up that much. When you're trying to do an all-day cook and you're going to have a big fire going, you definitely want the water in there because it helps keep that temp down and control it. Other than that, the Fornetto's been great. I love that it's modular. I love that you've got the you know, the two different sections there, and so far so good. So let's see what we're at on the temp here. We're at 212, it looks like. We only got the bottom probe in, and that's just on a clip on the grate, so that's just measuring the heat inside the smoker. So we're getting close. I think when we get to 225, we're going to go ahead and put our pork butt in, and we'll get it cooking. Hey guys, welcome back to What's Cooking Tonight. We have our pork butt roast here. I'll walk in a little bit so you can get a little bit of a better picture. We got this seasoned up. We got our smoker at just a little bit above 225. So we're going to go ahead and unstrap this, and we're going to put it on there. Let's get this off. Whoa, a lot of smoke there. We'll slap that down. We're going to have this on there probably about 3 or 4 hours smoking before we wrap it. So I'm going to get this lid back on, and we're probably going to close some of the dampeners on the bottom just to make sure the heat doesn't run away from us and get too hot. But we'll seal this up, and we'll get it at the temp we need, and then we'll probably come back in about 3 or 4 hours. See you then. Alright guys, we're back. We have had the butt roast on the smoker for about 4 hours. It's been between 225, 250 the whole time. So we're gonna do my favorite part coming up here, which is the reveal, where we get to see how good the you know, that smoky outer crust on the meat has formed. So stay tuned, we'll do that in just a second here. Alright guys, here we go. We're gonna unclip the top here, and we're gonna do the reveal. Oh, looking pretty good. So I'm just going to take this thermometer out that we have here, because at the moment I only have actually one thermometer. So I'm going to pull this out and get it in the meat here, see what temp we're reading at. And if we're close to like 165, 170, alright, that's 167 right there. That looks awesome. Let's do another part. If we're at the right temp, we're going to wrap this in some butcher paper, and we're going to put it back in here for a few more hours. That's at 160. Let's try down here. And that's at 154. Alright, so I'm going to leave this on here a little bit longer. Should be a little bit warmer before we wrap it up. So maybe like half hour longer, and then we'll show you wrapping this in some butcher paper. Alright guys, we're back. We let the butt roast sit on the smoker for about another half hour, and it's at the temp where we're ready to wrap it. So I'm going to take the lid off again, and I'm going to carry it over to our butcher paper here, and we'll wrap it up. Oh wow, it's looking great. Let me go grab my tongs. Let me get this probe out of it. Nice. Give you a little close-up here. Yeah, look at that bark. It's looking good. We're gonna wrap it in butcher paper here in just a second. Alright, here we go. We got our pork butt roast on the butcher paper. We're gonna wrap it once in this paper, and then we're gonna get another sheet and wrap it a second time just to get it all good and sealed there. Another piece here. one more time just to get it good and sealed. Alright, and we'll put that back on the smoker. Alright, so now that it's wrapped, we're going to put it back on the smoker. It'll cook maybe about 2 hours. We're going to put the temperature probe back in it. It's supposed to hit a temperature of around 200 degrees before you take it off. And, you know, I did want to note before, you can use foil to wrap these in, but I've heard online that using the butcher paper is a little bit better because it allows that bark to stay crispy because it lets some of the steam out. So if you think about it in foil, you're steaming that meat. It can get kind of soft. You won't have that crispy outer edge, but if you use the paper, it's supposed to let some of that steam out and maintain that crispiness. So we're going to go ahead and put this back on right here with the butcher paper, and then I'll go ahead and stab the probe through it just so that we can measure for that 200 degree temperature. Just get that in there. There we go. We'll put this on, like I said, about hour and a half, 2 hours, depending what the temperature is. Alright guys, we're back. So this pork butt here has been wrapped for a little over 2 hours in the smoker. If we look down at the temp here, it's not quite where I want it. Typically I'd want to pull that off closer to 200, but it's already been a long day and we are hungry. So I'm going to go ahead and take this lid off, and we're going to pull this off of the smoker here, and then we're going to bring it in the house and rest it in a dry cooler. So let me go ahead and get this. Alright, pull this probe out, and we'll put this in the cooler. Alright, so we brought the meat in. Mostly when you smoke meat, you want to give it a rest, especially when you're doing brisket or pork like this, because it gives it, you know, a chance for those juices to suck back into the meat, and you won't lose them when you cut the, cut the beef or cut the pork, whatever you're cutting. So it's always good to put it in here. It'll maintain that heat. It will, like I said, keep it good and juicy. So after about an hour, we'll take it out and we will cut into it and show you how it looks. Alright guys, we are ready to get into this pork butt. It's been resting in the cooler for about an hour here. I'm going to grab it. Oh man, it smells delicious. We'll unwrap it here and we'll try and shred it with the fork. Oh wow. Pretty juicy. Oh man, that looks great. Let's get a close-up on that. Alright, let's try and shave a little bit off the front here. There we go. Hey guys, just wanted to get you one more clip here with the pork butt shredded up a little bit more. It's really good. You can see the nice smoke ring. Add some barbecue to it and you have yourself a great meal.